Dear students, good morning to all of you. Today I am going to discuss about the production technology of mango. As you all know that mango is known as the king of fruits. We are having more than 1500 varieties of mango in India, out of which 1000 are of commercial importance. Mango is the only fruit crop which is grown in all the subtropical parts of our country. So today I am going to discuss about the requirement of this fruit crop, its soil and climate, cultivars, planting, harvesting, its yield. So mango, which is botanically known as Mangifera indica, belongs to the family Encardiaceae. It is one of the choicest and the most ancient fruits of known to mankind. In India, it is grown in Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, Bihar, West Bengal, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Haryana, and Jammu and Kashmir. However, the mango producing countries in the world include China, Thailand, Mexico, Pakistan, Philippines, Indonesia, Brazil, Nigeria, and Egypt. As far as climate is concerned, mango thrives well up to 1400 meter above mean sea level, provided locality is frost free. So we have to take one thing into consideration, that the area where we are going to plant mango orchard or a mango plant, that area should not have frost problem. The favorable temperature for its cultivation is between 24 to 27 degree Celsius. Mango has been found to grow on wider range of soils. However, deep and well drained loam to sandy loam soils are most suitable for its cultivation. The ideal range of soil pH for mango cultivation is 5.5 to 7.5. Those who want to go for mango cultivation or mango plantation must take one thing into consideration, that the area should not have waterlogging, as waterlogged condition results in root rotting of mango. There are lot of cultivars of mango, and I want to share one interesting thing with all of you, that mango is the only fruit crop which is having cultivars in all the alphabets of English, that is from A to Z. We start from Alfonso, Amarpali, then B. Baganpalli, C. Chittoor, D. Dashahri, and similarly if we move onwards as Swarnlekha, Vandraj, then Z for Zardalu, you will find each and every alphabet of English has a variety or cultivar of mango. However, in India, the Dashahri is one of the important cultivar, which is a mid-season mango variety which ripens in first half of July and is one of the most popular variety of northern India. This variety has medium-sized fruit which are having pleasant flavor, sweet and fibrous pulp. Then there is one more variety, Bombay Green or Malda. This is one of the earliest variety of northern India, harvested by the end of June. It is also having medium sized fruits. The third important variety is Langda. This is also a mid season cultivar, ripens in the second half of July. The fruits are medium to large in size, flesh is firm, fiberless. Summer Bashish Chosa. This is a late maturing variety of northern India which ripens in first fortnight of August. Now there are some important hybrids also. These are two important hybrids released by IERI New Delhi, Amarpali and Malika. Amarpali is the cross of Dashehri and Neelam, while Malika is a cross of Neelam and Dashehri. Amarpali is a dwarf, regular bearer, and respond very well to the pruning, and thus under high dynasty plantation, this is an important cultivar, and we go for planting with a distance of 2.5 meter to 3 meter. If we plant this hybrid at a distance of 2.5 meter by 2.5 meter, that is row to row and plant to plant distance, then we will accommodate 1600 plants in 1 hectare. It is highly precocious and commercial harvest can be taken after 3 years of planting. However, in case of Malika, it produces high quality fiberless orange fruit which is normally harvested from June to July. The pulp of this hybrid has excellent sugar and acid blend, so it is quite suitable for overseas markets. Besides, this cultivar is also having excellent processing traits. Now these are the important varieties grown in different regions. Alfonso in Maharashtra, Totapuri Karnataka, Baganpalli Andhra Pradesh, Dashehri Uttar Pradesh, Himsagar West Bengal, Kesar Gujarat, Langda Uttar Pradesh, Ambika Uttar Pradesh, Malgova Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, Vanraj Gujarat, Swarn Rekha Andhra and Odisha, Chosa in Himachal and Bihar. Now if we go for the propagation in mango, we generally prefer grafting, and grafting, as you all know, when we go for grafting, there are two parts of the plant. One is rootstock, another one is sign. So as far as rootstock is concerned, we grow it from the stones of seedling trees. Seedling trees are sucking mangoes. We take the stones and sow them. Soon after, they are removed from the ripe fruit as they are recalcitrant seeds. Before sowing, the stone should be immersed in the water, and only those stones which sink in the water are sown, as these are considered to be viable. The stones are sown in the month of July-August in a well prepared bed. The stones are, after sowing, covered with a mixture of sand and farmyard manure, and when the seedlings attains the size of pencil thickness, they are found suitable for grafting in the month of March and April. There are different grafting methods used for mango. However, veneer grafting, side grafting and cleft grafting, they are efficient as well as cheaper than the in-arching method. While selecting a sign wood, some important things have to be taken into consideration, that sign stick should have equal thickness to the rootstock. The sign stick should be selected from terminal non-flowered shoot which is of about 3 to 4 months of age. The sign stick should be defoliated, leaving a portion of petiole 7 to 10 days before their detachment from mother plant. The best grafting time for mango is March to April or mid-August to September. However, on YouTube you will also find my videos on wedge grafting and cleft grafting that will help you to get more into it, and you will understand this method in very efficient way. Now coming to the planting of mango is done after we take the pit which is properly dug, which is of the size of 1 meter in length, 1 meter breadth and 1 meter depth. Those pits were filled before the planting of the plant by mixing farmyard manure. About 20 to 25 kg of well rotten farmyard manure is mixed with the soil of the pit, and the pit is refilled. Now, depending upon the cultivar and the planting distance, we prefer 8 to 10 meter for normal planting, and as I told you earlier that 2.5 to 3 meter for high density planting. During planting, the earth ball should remain intact. That is, if we have any disturbance with the earth ball, it will result in the drying of the plant. So the soil with the earth ball is to be remain intact, and the graft union is well above the ground level. In some cases, I found that the farmers or the growers, they plant the plant in a well dig pit. That is, they just take out the soil, put the plant, and then refill it. So it is not the best way. You have to refill the soil first, then with the help of khurpa you take the soil from the center of the pit, as much is there with the plant, and that earthen ball or soil which is with the plant, that much you put it in that block, and you then fill the remaining soil. It is best way that if you press the soil so that no air gap will be found, and after that you water the plant. So while selecting the planting material, some important things have to be taken into consideration. Wherever I go, or wherever I go for talk, or in any Kisan Mela or any interaction meeting with the farmers, I always used to say that take the plant material from a reliable nursery with for which you have a known pedigree. The graft union should be smooth and well above 25 centimeter from the ground level. The plant should be vigorous and free from any insect, pest or disease. The plant should be taken with good sized earth ball to keep maximum part of the root system intact. The plant should be handled carefully during the transit to keep the graft union as well as soil ball in sound condition. Now, after planting the plants, what after care you have to be taken for young plant? Provide irrigation to the newly planted young plants. Avoid heavy watering and stagnation of water in the basins. Remove the off stalk sprouts. Here I want to make a mention that when you plant a plant, there are growths from the graft union, lower graft union portion, that is below graft union there is a growth of the shoots. Those shoots have to be removed. Those are the offshoots. Those shoots are from the seeds of the seeded plant. So they either, if you don't remove those shoots, they attain good growth, they grow vigorously than your plant, and they even overcome the grafted portion, and your seedling portion will grow instead of your grafted plant. So you have to make sure that when you planted a plant, you go in the field after every 10 to 12 days and remove those offshoots which will grow below the graft union. Also, if there is any tying material with the bud or graft union, it should be removed. And you also have to provide support to the plant for initial years to grow upright. Now, in case of mango, frost and hot weather resulted in the death or killing of the plant. So your plant has to be protected from frost and hot weather. Young plants of 3 to 4 years should be covered with a thatching material. You have seen that in case of mango, there are in some areas four sticks on 4 sides, and that is covered with the straw, or we cover it with a net. So just to ensure that plant should be protected from the frost. Also, Their protection will be made by whitewashing from the lower basal portion and add lime and copper oxychloride in it. So in some cases, you found that some gunny bags or some papers have been wrapped on that portion just to keep the plant protected from the hot weather. Now, training and pruning for the initial year is also very important just to give a good shape to the plant. We make a cut after 75 to 90 centimeter above the plant, and then we allow the shoots to grow above it, above that portion. Any crisscross those shoots which have which don't have good crotch angles, they have to be removed. Or those portions which are having any disease or insect portion, they also have to be removed. As mango bears terminally, so annual pruning is not done except removing of crowded, diseased and dead branches. Now, in case of manuring and fertilizer, it plays very important role if we talk of yield of the mango fruit plant. So we have to take proper scheduling of the this manure and fertilizer into consideration. For every year wise schedule is given here, so you can have a look on it. For 1 year plant, you have to apply 5 kg of farmyard manure with 95 gram urea, 50 gram DAP and 35 gram muriate of potash, and that dose keep on increasing with the year. So you have to apply full dose of nitrogenous fertilizer along with half of phosphorus and potash first after harvesting of the fruit. Then remaining quantities of these two fertilizers should be applied during October with last irrigation. Now, as far as irrigation is concerned, in absence of rains, the first irrigation is needed just after the planting. Now, subsequent irrigations are needed as per the need of the plantation up to 2 to 3 years. Each irrigation may be of 3 to 4 days in summers and once a fortnight in winter, depending upon the type of the soil as well as the climatic condition. The bearing mango trees respond well to irrigation so that they produce more yield by increasing the fruit setting and fruit retention. Now, intercropping. The young mango orchards should be kept completely free from any weed. Since we don't have any income for initial 3 to 4 years in the young planted mango orchard, so we can go for intercropping. That will give additional income to the farmer. For intercropping, we can grow vegetables, flowers like marigold, glad, and vegetables like pea, French bean, okra. However, some fruit crops can also be grown like papaya, falsa and strawberry for initial 4 to 5 years. Now, coming to harvesting and yield, remove any flowering or on the trees for first 3 to 4 years so that the tree will attain a good framework for initial years. In case of mango, the common practice to harvest the mango fruit is when the fruit starts falling. That stage is known as tapka stage. So, dear students, you must know that mango harvesting will be done at tapka stage. The yield of the mango fruit varies with the age of the plant, variety grown, the climatic condition, soil type, as well as there is also one major problem of this alternate bearing or biennial bearing, in which 1 year which is designated as on year we get good crop, and in off year there is low or no cropping. So these will decide the yield of the plant. A well grown mango tree of the age of 10 year onwards will yield 40 to 100 kg, whereas the yield may go up to 3 to 4 quintals per tree at the age of 40 years. So, dear student, I think you understand all this very well. Now, there are 4 to 5 questions for your assignment portion. Number 1 is, the botanical name of mango is, mango belongs to dash family, The ideal range of soil pH for mango cultivation is dash. Dash and dash are the hybrids of mango. The favorable temperature of mango is dash to dash. So these are the correct answers.